My name is Arwa, and for the last few weeks, Will and I have been renovating this old school bus into our future home on wheels. We have a total of 4 months to get this done, so stick around if you're curious to see if we make this deadline, and if we manage not to catch anything on fire in the process. We just found out we're moving in 2 months, and the bus is so far from being done. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very nervous. I don't know if we're gonna get it done in time. Maybe we'll work on it on the road. I can't even think about it. All right, well, you're just gonna have to stay along for the ride and see if we get this done in time. We had finished framing out the entire bus and completed the subfloor, so next it was time to insulate the walls and ceilings. I was itching to start on our layout, but I knew I had to get the bus all prepped before I could even think about any of that. Our cedar plank smelled so good. I don't think any scent can compare to freshly cut cedar. I spent 2 full days constantly coating them to make sure they were mold and water resistant for our ceiling. Again, this was a lot of unexpected prep. I feel like 80% of the build was prepping, insulating, or coating, and the other 20% was the actual installation. Explain what happened.
I don't want to. Honest mistake. I mean, I'm not no electrician, so I didn't know really there was even too much of a difference between copper clad aluminum wire and copper wire.
So basically Will got aluminum instead of copper wiring, so now we're just taking everything we did down and redoing it with the correct copper wire.
An expensive mistake, but
it was an expensive mistake, but at least you learned.
I learned.
You learned a lesson of some sort.
Oh, did I learn?
Next was pre-wiring, as you saw. Right here was the second attempt at it with the correct wiring this time. I'm glad we ultimately decided to redo it, even though it was gut-wrenching to take down all the hours of hard work we put into it. This was definitely a situation where you'd rather be safe than sorry. And on the bright side, the second time around was much more organized, so maybe it all happened for a reason. I literally feel like I've been waiting for this moment since we bought the bus. We finally get to put up our ceiling panels. Yeah, they're just little tongue and grooves, so they'll just snap in together, and it'll be a little difficult to get over the curves of the bus, but I'm so excited for them to get in. I don't know if it's straight and it's gonna affect the whole wall if it's not, but it's just as hard with one hand. I mentioned this in my last video, but one of the biggest challenges for me was not having an extra set of hands. For the majority of the day, I was working alone and had to nail or screw in materials with one hand or hold things in very uncomfortable positions in order to piece it together. It's in! It caused a lot of physical strain and definitely doubled the amount of time certain projects took to build. I sometimes waited for Will to get home for certain things, but that was just wasting precious time to me, and with only 3 months left on the clock, I just had to make do. This ceiling installation was particularly exciting because it was the first final product that would be in the bus. We wouldn't have to touch the ceiling again once we installed the planks and lights, so it was both invigorating and kind of nerve-wracking. It was also such a morale boost, considering everything else looked like a mess, but at least our ceiling would be complete. It always looks worse before it gets better, right?
We're halfway or a little bit more than halfway down our ceilings, and I'm obsessed with how it looks.
We put in the fan cover and halted everything to test our lights. We've done singular electrical tests, but had no idea if our lights would work after chaining them all together.
Oh my god, I'm literally gonna cry.
Ready? Look at disco. Oh!
It's crazy.
That's electricity.
No, not electricity. This is crazy how much work we put in.
I know, and then it works.
So we're trying to get this shower pan here, but we need a hole.
Like most days, I woke up and would just somehow have to figure out how to build something right then and there. Here I had to build a bed frame by the end of the day, so I just started somewhere and hoped I could build off of it. There really wasn't an abundant amount of time to spare, so I couldn't thoroughly research certain projects the way I would have wanted to. I just prioritized safety and longevity, then hoped it also looked good in the end.
I think it's good.
There's one. Whoa! I don't want to get it on the wall.
It has been raining so much lately, and it's really hard to get stuff done in the bus because all our wood gets soaked. We can't have our tools out. Thank goodness we have this little porch with a roof so we can get some stuff done. This space is slowly turning into what I envisioned. Like, we have walls up now and a bed frame. It's not quite there yet, but it's really starting to feel more homey.
They need to do a projector, like you can hang it like magnets or something up there.
Got our water heater in. We just gotta screw it in. Look how good that cover looks. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
With our bed frame complete and our water heater installed, we put in the rest of our walls, And with that came making some windowsills. They were a pain in the butt to make, but really cleaned up the look. And the next day, I started on the driver's seat overhead storage, which I was procrastinating making for days. It doesn't seem like it, but the entire bus is curved in some way, so cutting and measuring around those edges were on the top of my most dreaded list. Here I made a bookshelf insert, and it is slightly too small for a book to stand straight, but I could fit a bunch of my books on a slant, so it works perfectly fine in my eyes.
Now it's gonna be our little bookshelf.
Another long day on the bus, complete. It's a grind out here, every day out here till sun goes down, way out past when the sun goes down. Just always hungry, always just stressing about what's next, but it's gonna be worth it.
So today I have to build a dinette right here where I'm sitting. That also converts into a couch. Do I know how to do this? No, but I've spent 4 hours this morning just thinking and planning. This is a part I really can't mess up because the entirety of this bus has been a little crooked, a little gap here, not straight there, but this actually has to be straight. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I guess I'm gonna build it. Ugh. Logically speaking, a chair is like a box, sort of. So, what if I just built a box? If I sit, we just installed the switch for the main lights on the back of this chair. I just added in those triangles and this little lean support. So now it's time for the actual chair. Yeah. It works.
That's it.
Nice. Oh my god. It's crazy how it went from this very confused sketch to this in real life. Now it's time to do it all over again. I have to build the second seat, but hopefully it will be quicker and easier this time since I kind of have a plan. This bus is slowly getting pieced together. It's crazy. What I was imagining in my head is real and I'm just creating it with my hands. Today I'm adding closet shelves. I was gonna do drawers and this whole elaborate organized system. Half drawer comes out, the other half comes out. I don't have time, so I'm just gonna do basic shelves.
At around this point is where we divided and conquered. I tackled all woodworking, building the kitchen, bedroom, the closet, the shower, and the dinette, as you saw, while Will tackled our systems, for example, our electrical, our plumbing, and propane, and then we helped each other in between where we could. Thank goodness we did this, or else I don't know how it could have all come together.
It's cabinet day, and if I'm being honest, never thought we'd make it this far.
Honestly, me neither. It'll just be in the
Wait,
back.
what?
Last drawer. Why did they think drawers would be so easy?
Yeah.
Way harder than they look. I just screwed in the drawers, and we got some soft clothes. They don't work that well though. They're a little stiff.
I had never built a kitchen before, obviously, so I started with building divided plywood stilts as supports, then made these faces, as I like to call them, to sort of clean it up, and eventually I would add faces to the drawers and the cabinets to make it look like a real kitchen. This was a very last-minute decision. Honestly, everything was. But I decided to make this barn door for the closet.
This is going to be a gorgeous door. I'm so excited. I'm just going to add in these X's so it kind of gives it that farmhouse look.
What the heck? You built that? Oh my god.
I actually feel like it might be too heavy.
Perfect. So I just finished painting the water tank holder. Now I gotta paint the inside where we're gonna be plumbing because we're not gonna really have access to that once I set up water tank and the water filters. So let's get that done.
Okay, so right now I'm trying to make a custom cup holder for the driver's seat. It's gonna be able to fit 2 hydro flasks because they can never fit in normal car cup holders. So that's something that always bothers me while I'm driving. So I'm just gonna get rid of that problem and just customize it now. I have been working on this all day, I think 6-7 hours, but this is the cup holder. I used some garage sealant as the protective barrier around. So the hydro goes in and it fits perfect. While we're driving, it doesn't move around and get scratched up, and it covered up the gap I left at the bottom. The reason we're not doing a lot of custom built and custom fit things in our drawers, for example, is A, because there's organizers for that, and B, it takes a long time. I feel like if you have the time, the detail adds so much character, but this is probably one of the last super customizable bits I'll be adding because it is a lot of work. Then I was on to making the drawer and cabinet faces. Typically you need a router tool for this, but I didn't have one, so I decided to make these angled edges myself. Having to make every single thing from scratch was very time consuming. I definitely felt a lot of pressure to make everything look nice since nothing else would be covering this up. It was sort of a final product besides paint, of course. It was pretty difficult to be building all these things for the first time with no prior experience or knowledge, and on top of that, knowing I'd have to live with it and stare at all of it for many years to come.
So I just finished the main part of the plumbing system. Arwa's inside sanding everything down right now, getting her ready to paint. She's been in there for a while, just grinding away.
was finally time to paint. This was the moment I had been waiting for since starting this project. Little did I know painting would be 90% priming and prepping and 10% actually painting. I honestly was so burnt out at this point. We had pulled so many all-nighters, had barely been eating, and I had been doing 15-hour shifts on the bus for at least 3 months straight. I could feel the warmth of light at the end of the tunnel though. We were so close yet so far from being done. But I was determined to get this bus finished before our big move in a few weeks, even if it was just one brush stroke at a time.
That looks
That's
pretty
good.
Alright, yep. Yeah!
I'm kind of weird.
Alright, that's it for painting.
That was... Why would you do that? For the first time in probably a year, I'm wearing a sweatshirt because it's been 90 degrees, 100 degrees, 100 plus every day, and then randomly today it decided to be fall. Get out of your way. Maybe not.
Oops. I can bring it down.
Yeah, maybe bring it down so they're a little even. Bring it.
One of many final touches was adding in our countertops, and we went with butcher block. I was slightly afraid to cut it though.
I'm nervous. This cut I have to make right now for the sink and oven, I'm so scared. I just don't want to mess any of this up. We have to test the oven right now.
Yup.
Well, it fits.
I think it's gonna fit.
I think I got confused.
Totally changes the space.
It's like the exact color I wanted. I can't believe I almost stained it. I love the natural color.
One of the skills I really wanted to take on during this process was sewing for our dinette cushions. Unfortunately, there was no time to learn this skill when there was jobs like finalizing our propane system or building a shower to cross off on the to-do list. So instead, I made these super easy fabric tape cushion covers. They weren't the best, but they're still holding up to this day, and it was perfect for a quick solution. Then we did a water test on our plumbing system where we had some minor leaks.
Our hose is leaking. Oh yeah, turn it off. Oh my gosh! It's at our shower and it's leaking.
Okay, turn it off.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, turn it off, turn it off. Take two. We tightened all our fittings, so we'll see if it leaks.
They were pretty simple to fix, and then we officially had running water, which was so exciting. Will had worked so hard on our systems, like our plumbing, or installing our diesel heater, which taps right into the bus's fuel line to give us unlimited heat.
Yeah, it's like working! It's pushing out!
And our gray water tank that was mounted underneath the bus. I wish all of this was easier said than done, but it was a pretty brutal few days. Then I started on the shower while Will finished installing our gray water tank. I feel like so much happened in these last few days. We pulled so many all-nighters. I just remember feeling so delirious and pushing myself beyond capacity to get everything done in time. We had to move out of our house in 2 days when we had just started the shower, and it felt like we had so much left to do. I was literally learning how to tile on the spot because I had no time to research anything. I was packing up our house, was trying to move things into the bus, all while still trying to finish up the builds. I am not going to lie, I think this was the most stressed I've ever been in my life, but somehow we managed to finish the build the day we moved out and hit the road. To this day, I'm still so shocked and confused how we did it start to finish in 4 months, but we did, and I'm still trying to process all that happened. We became carpenters, electricians, plumbers, and mechanics within a matter of weeks and made a beautiful home on wheels in the process. I seriously did not expect it to turn out this nice. Of course, nothing is perfect or straight in here, but it came out even better than I dreamed of. All our systems work beautifully. All my woodworking has held up so far. And now I live in this old school bus full time, and I'm currently exploring the Pacific Northwest. I want to remind you that we had no experience. I had never even used a hammer before this, and if I can do it, anyone can do it. It is hard, it is challenging, and it can be stressful, but if this is your dream, I promise you, you can do it. You do not need a lot of money or experience, and you certainly should not wait for the right time. My biggest advice would be commit to it and do it afraid. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. You also don't need a fancy rig to go out and explore all this earth has to offer. The most connected I've ever felt to nature has been simply in my own backyard. And now I'm grateful to wake up to a new backyard every day. Thank you so much for watching this whole crazy process, and stick around if you'd like, because this is just the beginning of the journey.